Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Oh, man, we're to number 6 on the 49ers roster countdown, and this is where it gets tough. You got 5 All-Pro players on the 49ers roster, and that doesn't count Kyle Juszczyk, who the fullback position isn't recognized by All-Pro. He's got 6 Pro Bowls, and a quarterback. That's what we got left. And so, I want to calm people down just a little bit before we get started, because I understand there is an argument to be made for Fred Warner being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this list. So why do I have him number 6? Which it might appear as a slight. I hope it's not. Main reason why we ended with Fred Warner at 6, who is the linebacker 1, the best linebacker in football. How in the hell could he be number 6 on a person's roster? It's because of replacement value. The 49ers are loaded at the linebacker position, and Fred Warner has only missed 1 game, really, in his entire career. I mean, he's an Iron Man in and of himself, and I love Fred, probably one of my favorite 49ers on the team. I mean, shoot, we got to have him out at the 49ers Rush Road Trip draft party, which was one of the highlights of my career doing whatever this is. But you do have to understand, we do have Dre Greenlaw, we do have Azeez Al-Shaair, both of which could fill in. They're not Fred Warner. They're not even close to Fred Warner. But if you look at the drop-off of the other positions, whether that's, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, George Kittle, Debo, all those things, that's where the difference is made. And that's why we ended up with 6. Again, this entire countdown is who has the largest impact on the 2022 49ers season. So let's jump in. We got a lot to get to. We got some film cut-ups. We got background galore. And the way in which the 49ers landed Fred Warner, a roundabout way of getting one of the best defensive players in the league that probably upset a lot of 49ers fans whenever it first happened, but we're going to detail one of the craziest trades ever in 49ers history and how it actually turned out to benefit the 49ers through a bunch of ups and downs and moves on moves on moves. Now, Fred Warner, number 54, which I love. I donned number 54 my junior year in high school before moving to tight end and all that stuff. Had to get an eligible number, had to change that out. But 6'3", 230 pounds. He's a big boy. Only 25 years old. Only 25. He's been around for a minute. Only 25. We got him for a while, too, as he's extended. Entering into his 5th season, he's from Mission Hills High School, San Marcos. What's up, California? And, he ended up landing at BYU and, was an exercise and wellness major. 4-star recruit for the Cougs. And why not? Let's throw up some film as we keep talking about the greatness that is Fred. All of these clips are from 2021. I just wanted to highlight some of his coverage skills, and I think that's one of the things that separates him. So if you want to catch this and all the audio commentary and all that stuff, I just loaded this up on Patreon, patreon.com/49ers Rush Podcast. So we got a lot of new surprises over there. We just relaunched the way we do Patreon. I'm excited. More content than ever before is going to be available for the 2022 year. So patreon.com/49ers Rush Podcast. So here we go. Let's go. Warner was an Avocado East League Defensive Player of the Year, All San Diego Section Defensive Player of the Year, First Team All California Honors, and he caught the attention of the BYU coaches after a diehard BYU fan and family friend sent Warner's highlight tape to the coaches and later got offered a scholarship. He was very under radar early, but the Cougs, through a rabid fan, were able to jump on kind of what Warner's about, and they loved it. They loved it. Played 49 career games, started 42 at college. He was named to the Bednarik and Butkus Awards watch list, the Warfield Trophy, AFCA Good Works Team nominee, and again, the Warfield Trophy, that's kind of like the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Fred Warner's incredible with the community. Obviously, he came out and partied with us, but he does a lot to help people. 2-time Phil Steele All-Independent Team, led BYU in tackles the final 2 seasons, 2016-2017, received the Most Valuable Player Award and Captain's Award at the team banquet. 3-year starter, put up 264 tackles, 32 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 7 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 5 fumble recoveries, 3 forced fumbles, 13 pass breakups. And his 7 interceptions is second in team history for anybody that ever played the linebacker position. Now, he was projected to be a late second, early third round pick. And he's admitted several times he really thought the Denver Broncos were going to take him. That's really what he thought. But he gets drafted by the 49ers. We'll detail that a little bit more here in a second. But a couple more accolades that I want to get through. He was the first NFL rookie since 2000 to begin his career with 4 consecutive games of at least 10 tackles. He was drafted in the 3rd round, showed up, leader of the defense, day 1. I mean, just uncanny where he went, especially whenever you look at the fact he was drafted number 70 overall. I mean, he stepped up, and it was just boom. He was there instantaneously, one of the best, if not the best, coverage linebacker in the NFL, day 1. I mean, he just showed up and had it. Only missed 1 game his entire career with the 49ers so far. And he's going to be a force for years and years to come. If you're looking at the top 100 players, the NFL Network countdown, he was voted number 70th in 2020 and number 21 in 2021. So anyway, he just got married this offseason to a former contestant on The Bachelor, contestant Sydney Hightower. Happy congratulations to their family. Hopefully things go awesome there. And again, if you want a little bit more background, check out Hometown Hero, the Fred Warner story. It's a 15-minute breakdown that the 49ers put up on their YouTube page. Very, very good work, as always. Now, let's go to his metrics. And as you're seeing these plays and you're seeing them shot out of cannon and, you know, all these different things, he ran a 4.6440, which is good for his size, 21 reps, 6.93 cone. That's like Debo. That's basically like a Debo 3-cone. He is shifty, 38.5-inch vertical. That size is insane. Listen to these athletic comparables. Paul Posluszny, but it really didn't work because Fred Warner is built like a 1990s linebacker, but the athleticism is just unreal. So almost all of his comps were from back in the day, 1990s players, right? So I went outside the position, did a little bit of research. This year's draft class, Nick Bonito, the edge rusher out of Oklahoma. And a few years ago, Iowa tight end TJ Hawkinson. Those are the closest athletic comps that I could get to. Modern day NFL linebackers, a 97.7 match with 49ers undrafted free agent Curtis Robinson. So the 49ers got a type. They want big, they want fast, and they're going to stick to it. They want big and fast at linebacker. And Curtis Robinson is a player who has been rising up through training camp, which has been a lot of fun. Now, let's go to how the 49ers were able to acquire Fred Warner. They drafted him in the 3rd round of the 2018 draft, number 70th overall. It's crazy. 69 players went ahead of him. That's insane. They got him in the Solomon Thomas trade. If you remember back in 2017, the 49ers were on the clock at 2. The Bears were behind them at 3, and they swapped, okay? What did they swap? Well, one, it's hilarious. The Bears traded up for Mitch Trubisky, who's no longer on their team, when Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes were on the clock, on the board, and they missed it. But anyway, 49ers fell back 2-3, and what did the 49ers get? They got an additional 2017 3rd rounder, number 67 overall, which this is, again, buckle up, because that pick became Alvin Kamara, who we traded to the Saints. Well, what did we get? Not much. We eventually landed Adrian Colbert, Dante Pettis, and DJ Reed for Kamara. Definitely on the short end of that one. Colbert was a 7th round pick. He panned out. DJ Reed panned out, not for the 49ers. Dante Pettis didn't pan out for anybody. Lost that section of the trade for sure. We also got a 2017 4th rounder, which was number 111 of the draft, so 111th pick. That was Tedrick Thompson, but we traded that pick too to Seattle. We eventually landed Reuben Foster in that trade because we gave up a 2nd rounder and that number 111 pick to jump up and get Reuben Foster. Nobody won that trade. All lost. But we also did get the 2018 3rd rounder, number 70 overall, and that was Fred Warner. Was the a win or a loss? If you would have told me you could get the best linebacker in football at number 3, guaranteed the best coverage linebacker, I don't think that's a loss. Solomon Thomas, I don't want to call him a bust per se. I mean, he's still in the NFL, got his second contract. I mean, he's a player, but just a role player at best for sure. But again, I mean, if you just substitute Fred Warner in there, if you did a redraft, Fred Warner's going top 5, period. So did the 49ers win that trade? Nah, maybe you could have done better. You definitely had a lot of misses, but the fact that you got one of the best linebackers in the NFL, I can't mark that down as a loss. He's just too damn important. Now, if we look at his awards and or stats since he's been in the NFL, 2020 was unreal. First team All-Pro, Pro Bowl, NFC Defensive Player of the Month in November, Player of the Week, Week 12, 2019. And again, he has started 16 games every single year. Last year, 2021, first time ever, 17 games. He missed his very first game. But again, I mean, he's played in 64 games. He's started in 64 games. And you look at his career stats, 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 25 pass breakups, uncanny for a linebacker to have those numbers, 6 fumble recoveries, 6 fumbles forced, 4.5 sacks, 504 tackles. He averages 100 a year. It's just freaking uncanny. 22 tackles for loss, 17 quarterback hits. All pro Fred, baby. And here's the best news. Last year was a little bit of a roller coaster. First 7 weeks of the season, struggled. Why? Javon Kinlaw couldn't do his job, and we had Eric Armstead on the inside. We moved Eric Armstead to the inside week 8. After that, All-Pro Fred returned. So we're seeing this, and now that Javon Kinlaw's back, hopefully he stays healthy. Eric Armstead's on the inside just like the end of last year. We are going to see a year in 2022 very similar to what we saw in 2020. I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if Fred Warner's not an all-pro linebacker this year. It's just the makings, the build-up, the team chemistry, the scheme, everything is highlighted for Fred Warner to return to all-pro level. I love this guy, and that's why he's number 6 on the 49ers roster countdown. I want to say thank you to Josh, man. You guys, Josh, freaking Anthony, absolutely crushed this entire thing. We've got 5 more. We're down to the top 5. We'll see who's next on the 49ers roster countdown.